We are starting tonight with President Obama's new push for banks to make mortgage loans to people with weaker credit. The president is hoping this will stimulate the economy, but by just about all accounts, the housing market actually seems to be recovering fine on its own. Isn't this exactly the kind of lending that nearly sank our economy to begin with? Here with more on this is Steve Moore, senior economics writer with the Wall Street Journal. We also have real estate expert Brendan DeSimone. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Steve, were you shocked when you read this, or did you feel like it was Groundhog's Day and you were just going back in time?
You know, Melissa, it wasn't just me. I think just about everyone who read this story and saw the story that the Obama administration is going to loosen the underwriting standards again for the mortgages is just scratching their head saying, what in the world is going on here? Now, I think there's two problems with this. One is, obviously, everyone knows this is what caused the real estate bubble in 2008. You know, this is well established, and we would be repeating the same mistakes. But the second problem is what you just mentioned, Melissa, that the housing market doesn't need an assist from Washington right now. It's doing very well. It's doing what? I think you just said the best in 6 or 7 years.
Brendan, I mean, it's clear what they're trying to address here. You can see that in between 2007 and 2012, new home purchases for people with middle credit scores, like 680 to 620 in that range, fell 90%. So obviously they're seeing this big part of the market not get in there and buy homes. Is that because credit is too tight or because owning a home just isn't what it used to be? No,
credit is loosening. People are actually getting loans, even the people below 700. Banks are starting to loosen up. I just sold a property of my own in California, and the buyers got a 10% down.
So do you think the government needs to get involved to encourage people to do more?
I don't think so. We have an inventory problem now. Bring us some more housing. There's lots of buyers out there that are pre-approved, getting loans, writing offers, and multiple offers in many parts of the country.
Steve, did you hear that? Do you think Washington knows that?
You know, I don't. And I have a question for you and Brendan, because it's something that totally mystifies me. I mean, where do you draw the line between, you know, loosening these credit requirements to get these banks to make these loans and, quote, predatory lending? Melissa, remember back, you know, 5 years ago, the banks that gave loans to maybe people who were marginal were being accused of and they faced all sorts of fines and penalties.
No, that's true. I mean, Brendan, is this predatory lending? Although that phrase always reminds me of like jumbo shrimp. You know, someone's coming along and tricking you into taking money off their hands.
I don't think it exists anymore. We're just seeing lenders being really tight and really stringent, and they're checking documents and verifying income up to the very last minute. So people who shouldn't be getting loans aren't really getting loans, but people are getting loans.
Steve, I mean, I think the banks have to be wondering, you know, what kind of indemnity are they going to get? Are they being tricked here? I mean, they're everybody's favorite whipping boy. And now the government is saying, go out there and make some risky loans. And then later, if this blows up, you know, are they going to go back and call them predatory lenders again? Or, I mean,
well, that was my sort of point. And you know, Melissa, think about what this is like today to be a bank loan officer. On the one hand, if you deny someone a loan, you know, you can be accused of you know, discriminating against that person or, you know, redlining. But then if you do make the loan, you can be accused of predatory lending. And you know, the government keeps changing the rules here.
Yeah.
I mean, my point, and one other point, if I could, Melissa, you can be sure that these loans will be insured by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or FHA. So who's going to be insuring these loans? Uncle Sam will.
Brendan, I mean, the bottom line here, because this is a show about telling people how they can possibly make money going forward, and to me this means that the government is committed to getting people back into the housing market and propping it back up. So maybe, you know, if I can't fight the government, I should get in there and buy today, because this means that the housing market, they're going to inflate the housing market and they're going to push up prices. Or does it mean there's another bubble coming and I should stay away?
I mean, it could be the making of another bubble. I think it's happening on its own. It's happening organically. Buyers are out there. There's limited inventory, and it's going to work itself out in the long run.
Work itself out in the long run, or it's going to burst? I mean, you said if it's the beginning of another bubble, maybe I should stay away.
No, because the more sellers we have and more prices go up, the more sellers will enter the market. There'll be more inventory.
One thing good about real estate is it's a protection against inflation if you think prices are going to go up. And you know, I'm just mystified by the attitude of the Obama administration of saying, look, we're going to provide these subsidies to these new loans. Many of them are going to be highly risky. And, you know, the words that popped into my mind when I heard this were subprime.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But, I mean, you can scratch your head and you can get mad at Washington about what they're doing, or you can look at it, see the reality of it, and try and figure out how to make money off it. And I think that's really all we can do at this point. So thanks to both of you for coming on. We appreciate your time.